Our trip to Florida was a good trip. We played the number one team in the country in Dakota Wesleyan and the defending national champion. And we did well for one quarter out of the four quarters, and then we let it get away from us, and it just snowballed on us. And we struggled at IU East, but we pulled it out. And then against a very good Lewis team, they handed it to us pretty good. So, hopeful that we get back here, get a chance to play at home, familiar surroundings, and like you said, a routine. Maybe we can get back on the right track.
You mentioned the struggles, but also a very difficult schedule. Do you think that sort of thing pays dividends as the season goes on?
I certainly hope so. I mean, that's why we scheduled what we scheduled. We really wanted an opportunity to play against Dakota Wesleyan, and the kids know I'm not hiding anything. I was really disappointed in our play. Whether you win or lose, that's a byproduct of what you do every day. And we've actually struggled some in the practices and finishing out of practice. But again, we're hopeful that new year, new beginning here at home, that we can get it started on the right track.
You've still got a good record overall as you head into conference play now, and you've had a smattering of conference games already, but this is now full bore going forward, playing in CCAC action. As you look back on what you accomplished during non-conference season in the first month plus of the season, where are you right now compared to where you expect it to be?
Well, I think we're still struggling offensively, and that continues to be a concern. We're not running offense to score. It's almost like we get sort of robotic with it, and hopeful that we've made some subtle changes. Hopefully we can show a little different side of us, because I do think we can be a very good offensive team. And then defensively, we've been challenged because we've played, like you said, a really, really good schedule. And we've gotten in foul trouble. We've also had an injury bug hit, which I don't like making excuses. But we have had the injury bug hit. We've dealt with a concussion. We've dealt with a broken arm and sprained ankles. And so we've had different kids missing at different times. And, I'm hopeful that we can put all that behind us and move forward.
Robert Morris is a team that always seems to put up a good fight. What do you have to do today to beat the Eagles?
It's going to be really critical that, number one, we take care of the ball. We don't create offense for them by being sloppy with the basketball. And then defensively, it's going to be important that we try to limit their penetration. They are very, very athletic. And they break you down off the dribble, and they create from the dribble. And so we're going to have to try our best effort to try to contain the dribble. They've got kids that can spot up and shoot. So taking away their penetration is a key.
Coach Brooks, thank you very much. Good luck today.
Thank you.
We've got tip-off coming up right around the corner. St. Francis and Robert Morris here on the USF Sports Network.
Being an athlete at USF has shaped my years in college, has made me grow as a person. We're always trying to push each other, definitely on and off the field. I think it is all definitely just determination to do well and become somebody. It's something that I can always look back to and tell my kids someday that I had played a sport in college and the amount of work it takes, but it's all worth it.
Along with Nick Jacobs, my name is Terry Bonadonna, and we'll be on the call for today's matchup. And for St. Francis, we just heard it from head coach Steve Brooks. They're trying to turn things around a little bit, and it's funny to say that about a team that's ranked number 12 in the country. They've gone through a rough patch.
And they've dropped to number 12 here in the last rankings, but he talked about the last three games during the interview that you had with him, which if you look on paper, you shouldn't be too worried about. Like you mentioned, you play the number one team in the country, the defending national champions. You played Lewis, one of the best Division II schools in the country in NCAA D2. So how can you really hold that against your team? Well, he's looking at it from a coach's perspective. He sees what's happening behind the scenes in practice. He sees the effort that maybe the numbers on the stat sheet don't show. And if he's not happy with that kind of stuff, that's what's going to bother him. I don't don't think he's terribly concerned with the results of those games as he is the effort. So that's going to be one of the things I'm going to be watching really close today, Terry, is how they come out out of the locker room here to start the game. Do they come out with energy? Do they come out with a little bit of fire and try to turn some things around? And how do they respond to the coach essentially calling them out, calling out their effort?
Now, the Fighting Saints do come into today's game at 10-5, so not a record to scoff at. They're 6-1 in conference. Those 5 losses have all been, I don't know if there's such a thing as a good loss, but they haven't been bad losses based on the competition they've played. The scores have been a little lopsided. Their last 2 losses are both by 20-plus points, but they've been good in conference so far, Nick. 6-1 against CCAC opponents, and today they take on a Robert Morris squad who comes in at 8-8 overall, 4-3 in the conference. A tough Robert Morris team that beat them last year.
Yeah, beat them last 3 times, I believe, is what our sports information guy said. So it's a team that it's a rivalry game. It's one of those teams that St. Francis goes into. It's St. Xavier, it's Robert Morris, it's Olivet Nazarene. Those are the games you need to get up for. And especially today, first game of 2019. Every single game this month except one is a conference game, so you want to get that schedule started off strong tonight.
And one thing you and I talked about before going on air here is that Robert Morris does some things very well that St. Francis doesn't necessarily do as their strong suit. So what do we look at as some of the keys to winning today's game?
Well, like Coach said, you have to limit their second chance points or their second chance opportunities, mainly because St. Francis doesn't get a lot. They are one of the lower scoring teams in the conference. St. Francis is, I believe, 3rd from the bottom in terms of scoring offense, but they do have the best field goal shooting percentage in the entire CCAC, which is kind of odd. But what does that tell you? It tells you they don't get very many opportunities. They don't put the ball up at the rim as much as the other team. So you really want to limit what Robert Morris is going to do, because they do get a lot of opportunities. Also, you want to shoot the ball from the perimeter very well today, mainly because, well, your rebounding numbers aren't there. You're not going to get a ton of rebounds, so you want to make sure you're shooting. I want to see good games from Ivana Markovic. I want to see a good game from Leah Sims as far as shooting the perimeter shot. And finally, like we mentioned, effort. You got to come out with a little fire here today and get 2019, get this conference season started off right. It's new year, new you, right?
Fighting Saints trying to improve to 1-0 in 2019, and we'll have tip-off in just a few moments. Right now, I'll turn things over to Dave Laquetta for the national anthem and starting lineups.
Matchup between the Eagles of Robert Morris University and your Fighting Saints. As always, prior to the introductions of this afternoon's starting lineups, we ask you to please rise. Gentlemen, kindly remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. And at this time, let's introduce this afternoon's starting lineups. First of all, for the Eagles of Robert Morris. At one guard spot, a senior, number 3, Shamara Glover. The other guard spot, a junior, number 10, Deisha Brefford. At one forward spot, a junior, number 11, Dianla Rainey. And at the other forward spot, a junior, number 40, Amber Lemons. Rounding out the Eagle lineup in the middle, a junior, number 43, Annika Johnson. The Eagles are coached by Mr. Al Brule. And now the starting lineup for your Fighting Saints. At one guard spot, she's a 5'7" senior from Wheaton, Illinois. Number 12, Ivana Markovic. At the other guard spot, a 5'3" sophomore from Chicago, number 20, Leah Sims. At one forward spot, a 5'11" senior from South Elgin, Illinois, number 32, Nicole Davidson. And at the other forward spot, a 5'11" freshman from Traralgon, Australia, number 33, Jordan Pyle. Rounding out the Saints starting lineup, in the middle, 6-foot junior from Elmwood Park, Illinois, number 31, Caitlin Alward. Fighting Saints are coached by Mr. Steve Brooks.
St. Francis against Robert Morris now just moments away from tip-off as the lights come back on here in the Sullivan Center. Saints come in at 10-5, 6-1 in conference. The Eagles of Robert Morris are 8-8, 4-3 in CCAC play. Should be a good one today. The Saints trying to get back on track after losing 2 of their last 3 over the break as we get set to resume the school year here. Before we get started today, they're honoring Steve Brooks down on the floor for his 500th career victory, which he picked up a couple of weeks ago. Really good coaching matchup today's game. Steve Brooks, the 4th winningest coach in NAIA Division II, active right now. You can tell how excited he is about winning 500.
If there's one thing he does not want, it's probably this, what's going on right now. He just wants to play this game, like you mentioned, like we heard him say in that interview. He's got things he wants to fix with his team, and there's no better way to fix it than by playing in the game. So less of the ceremony and some more basketball as far as Coach Brooks is concerned, I think.
We got a little look there as well at his counterpart, Al Brule, in his first year coaching the women's side here at Robert Morris. There's the tip, won by Jordan Pyle, and St. Francis, the Fighting Saints, wear gold. They go from right to left here in the first half of today's game. Robert Morris is in maroon, and they'll be going the opposite way.
So are they looking to score here? You heard Coach Brooks say they're robotic in their offense, not really looking to get to the basket. We're going to start things off early with a quick foul here, though.
Foul came on a grab away from the ball. It comes on Shamara Glover. First foul of the game comes 16 seconds into it. Jordan Pyle will inbound from the baseline. There's Caitlin Alward up top. Nicole Davidson gets the start today for the Fighting Saints. Here's Alward in the post, going up, gets the roll, and there's the first bucket of the game.
I think we saw some coaching right there. Yeah, that was the opposite of a robotic offense. They got it inside to Alward, and she knew exactly what to do with it. No wasted effort on that play.
First possession here for Robert Morris, scoring about 10 points per game more than St. Francis this year. So they'll try to push the tempo in the opposite direction. But so far, St. Francis' defense holding them down. Shot clock at 8. Turnaround jumper does not fall for Annika Johnson, but an offensive rebound. And there's Jordan Pyle pulling down the board this time for the Saints.
They're lucky to get away with no points there for Robert Morris because, like we mentioned before, you have to rebound. And already one possession, one offensive rebound for the Lady Eagles.
Davidson off the cut, scores off the glass.
Offense is on point early on. Good to see.
4-0 St. Francis, just over a minute into the game.
Defense will come around. They're one of the top scoring defense in the conference, so I'm not too worried about it. I think that's going to come around here sooner rather than later.
A cross-court pass, a little bit dangerous, but brought in by Deisha Brefford, leading scorer for the Eagles this year. Step-back jumper falls.
Not much you can do about that. Good defense by Leah Sims. Contested the shot, but just a nice step-back jumper that time from Deisha Brefford, the leading scorer for Robert Morris. About 16 points a game for her.
Brefford played her first 2 years collegiately, just a little bit away from here as Davidson knocks down a long two-point jumper from up top. 6-2 St. Francis.
Davidson, I don't think that's the extent of her range either. I think she could probably take another step or two back and knock down a three.
Here's Glover trying a three-pointer. That misses short, rebounded by Leah Sims. Sims wants to run for St. Francis. Pushing it down the floor, giving off to Alward for three. off the mark. Saints come up empty on that possession. They've been very efficient offensively early on in today's game, though.
And I don't like that switch there. I think to get back.
Deanna Rainey passes off to Glover on her right. Back up to Rainey. Shot clock under 10. 3-point attempt from Johnson misses. Long rebound to Elward.
I don't think that was so much a good defense by St. Francis as some stagnant offense by Robert Morris. See if they can do something with it.
Leah Sims inside. Triple team. Ball is stripped and Sims not able to pull it back in. It's a steal for Amber Lemons. Saints defense got back quickly. So Robert Morris will have to run the half-court game here. First turnover committed by St. Francis today. Brefford up top to Rainey, swung around to the right side. There's a deflection from Alward, and she's able to chase it down. Alward gets the steal. Trying to take it all the way down into the corner. Markovic, open three, got it.
Perfect, exactly what you needed. Ivana Markovic, the shooter, she saw the ball down underneath the basket, so she snuck down to the corner. And a great eyes by Alward to find the best shooter on the team, knocking down to three. And like I said before, we want a good game from Ivana Markovic today from the perimeter. That's a great way to start it. The offense, we were worried about the offense before the game started, and first 6 minutes here looks pretty good. The offense looks exactly where you want it to be here, coming off that long road trip.
Couldn't have asked for much of a better start. 9-2 lead for St. Francis, and the energy certainly doesn't seem to be lacking in the early going here either.
No, both sides have brought a lot of energy. Robert Morris, like we thought they would, bringing it up and down the floor very quickly, and you're going to see here. I was telling her to slow down around half court, but Markovic, the shooter, knew exactly where to go. Great coaching, and a great shot by the sharpshooter there for the Saints.
There's Elward showing off her multifaceted skill set. She's been a big-time post player since she walked in the door here at St. Francis, but she's improved her game, her outside shooting, and we saw her running the break there. The ball handling setting up Markovic for three. Robert Morris basketball, they've made a few substitutions as Jennifer Makoviak has checked into the game. I think that's Selena Mullis in there as well. There's a kick out to Makoviak for three. That misses. Rebound secured by Jordan Pyle. And there's a steal put up and in. That's Lindsay Mesnari, sorry, not Selena Mullis. But
and that hurts.
Lindsay Mesnari.
You do the work to get the defensive rebound and then turn it over.
Open look from the corner. Alward misses on the three, but Pyle grabs the offensive board.
Don't see that too often. The St. Francis offensive rebound. See if they can capitalize with a second chance here. Zone look here by Robert Morris. Trying to keep St. Francis on the perimeter. So far, so good.
Alward steps inside the perimeter, in and out on the jumper.
Good fight
for the
good
rebound.
Fight.
We've got a tie. Possession arrow faces Robert Morris, but a nice battle by Nicole Davidson anyway.
Energy hasn't dropped off after that first break in the action. Still going after the offensive rebounds. Very good.
Kiana Campbell comes on for Robert Morris. So the Eagles now playing with 3 subs on the floor. Not yet 5 minutes into the action. This is Makoviak sending it into the corner. Rainey for three. No good. Offensive rebound. This is Glover. Glover puts it back up and in.
That's how they're going to lose the game. If they can't win, it's going to be that. That's the reason why right there. Not getting a body on somebody when the shot goes up. And that was the shooter who got the rebound too.
Saints break the press. Here's Alward inside laying it in.
Great fast break. Secondary offense by St. Francis. They got a couple buckets on their transition game so far today. That's looking pretty good.
5-point lead for the Fighting Saints. Robert Morris basketball. It's Glover.
Got to help.
Drive inside, a handoff, and a travel.
Good defense there. Good help from underneath by St. Francis. We heard Coach Brooks talk about how they like to penetrate. So that means the defenders underneath have to always keep their eyes up and make sure that they know where the basketball is so they can come up and help. And they force the turnover. The press broke it nicely too.
Leah Sims slows it down for the Fighting Saints. Shot clock just under 20.
Another zone look here by Robert Morris. Good cut.
And a nice pass from Markovic out to Davidson, who hits another jumper. 4 points for Davidson.
That's how you beat the zone look, is you attack the gaps in that zone. And Markovic did a nice job off the ball to find the open spot. The defense collapsed. She kicked it out. Easy jump shot on the baseline.
That's 6 points rather for the leading scorer, Nicole Davidson. the lone senior on St. Francis's roster. Stepping into a three-pointer, Breffert misses off the back iron, and the rebound goes to Paige Gieske just into the game.
Forced a low percentage shot, rebounded nicely. That's the perfect defensive possession for St. Francis. Oh, lazy pass.
Stolen by Kiana Campbell, and all alone, Campbell's got an easy layup.
Robert Morris wants to bring some pressure here defensively, try to slow down St. Francis. I think they think St. Francis getting a little too comfortable on the offensive side.
Fighting Saints break the press again as Davidson shovels it off to Leah Sims. There's Sims with the shot clock at 8. Off to the right, bounce low, Davidson. Easy jumper for Davidson. She was given way too much room.
Yeah, underneath. That was on Lindsay Misnardi for Robert Morris. She didn't rotate over from the bottom of that zone quick enough.
Lead is 7 for the Fighting Saints. Mesnari from the foul line knocks down the jumper.
She made up for it.
4 points already for Mesnari off the bench for El Pool, and there's a steal for Mesnari jumping into the passing lane. Mesnari gives it off to Breffert. Open three. Way off. Offensive rebound. Makoviak puts it up and in.
Makoviak just had the defensive position on Ivana Markovic. She blocked her out. Should have been the other way around. Three-quarter court trap doing what it's intended to do for the Eagles.
Alward gets inside, tries to score for Mesnari. No, but she gets her own rebound. Now Davidson knocks down another one. Davidson already in double figures as she hits another one.
Robert Morris having a tough time defending that gray zone down there on the baseline, halfway between the three-point stripe and the block. And I've seen, 3 or 4 medium-range jump shots from there, and they're, to St. Francis credit, they're knocking them in.
This is Campbell into Mesnari, backing down on Gieske, and we've got a whistle.
That's going to go the other way.
And the ball gets lodged in the backboard, but the offensive foul came first.
Who's going to go get that? Hey, nicely done. The referee showing some vertical leap.
Absolutely. I don't see too many referees going up to get that ball.
Well, options are slim.
Sometimes you gotta grab a broom or
another basketball.
Another basketball, exactly.
Oh.
Gieske is able to track that one down, avoid disaster, and here come the Saints on the run. Elward lays it up, no, gets her own rebound. Nicole Davidson pull up, misses this time, and Breffert gets the rebound.
Good ball movement, though. Get back on defense. It's not a play you're going to make out there. Good show.
Breffert needs some help. She finds it on the bounce.
Good
help. Block from Elward, turning away Paige Wogan. Wogan gets it back.
Elward was all over the place on that one. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the ball back.
With the shot clock running down, Breffert misses on the three. Leah Sims gets the rebound, and she takes it into the defense. Leah Sims has it poked away from behind and out of bounds. The Saints will keep the ball.
And the best thing that could have happened on that play was a foul. St. Francis will have it underneath, though.
Adriana Acosta in for Caitlin Elward, who gets a breather here with 1:19 to play in the first.
So if St. Francis didn't have the effort and want to in the last 3 games, they do have it today. I think they're playing pretty good basketball.
Paige Gieske shuffled her feet on the outside.
Yeah, you know what? It was a close call. It was probably the right call. It's what popped into my brain when I saw it. And unfortunately, it took the official on the other side of the floor to blow the whistle. The two closer to the play thought it wasn't as egregious, but probably the right call.
5-point lead, St. Francis. Robert Morris has the ball. This is Rainey passing off to Makoviak on the left wing. Now top Campbell. Under a minute to play in the quarter. Shot clock down to 10. Makoviak in the corner. Starts to drive on Davidson. Turnaround up off the glass. No good.
Good on-ball defense that time for St. Francis. Forced a pretty tough shot. The other 4 defenders did their job by rebounding. See if we get a 2-for-1 here.
It doesn't look like they're playing for it as Sims passes off to Davidson. Clock runs down under 30 seconds. Acosta on the cut, receives the pass, kicks it out to Davidson. Thought about the jumper. Instead, it's Leah Sims for 3. No good. Rebounded by Acosta. Now the shot clock's off.
That'll work. It's another way to do it. Take it easy here. Run the play with about 8 seconds. You got to hurry here. You're too far. You got to run that play right now.
Now Sims makes her move with 6 on the clock. Sims gets inside, floats it up there, does not get the roll.
Because they didn't have a play called. It was just ISO that time for Sims.
And Makoviak can't get that shot off on time, so the first quarter comes to an end. Great start for St. Francis as they jumped out to a quick 9-2 lead, and they end the first quarter on top of Robert Morris 17-12. They came out really fired up, Nick, and more than anything, they were knocking down their shots.
Yeah, they had a lot of open looks, especially in that medium range right there on the baseline, but to their credit, they knocked down their open shots when they needed to, and that's something that has been a bugaboo for them is, putting points on the board. Although, like we mentioned before, although they don't score a ton of points, their field goal percentage is the best in the country, so we shouldn't be too surprised on that. I would be a little concerned. I think they're giving up maybe 1 or 2 more offensive rebounds than I've liked. They've turned it over a few times more, so they're going to have a few things to clean up here after that first quarter, but all in all, I think you're exactly where you want to be as the number 12 team in the country here, up 17-12. I guess a pretty good conference rival.
Nicole Davidson, prior to today, had scored in double figures only once all year. She scored 10 points in the first 6 minutes or so of this game. She's at 10 right now and 5 of 6 shooting. So she has scored more than half of St. Francis's points early on. They've only gotten offensive contributions from 3 different players, but that's been enough early on in this game.
7 assists on their 8 buckets for St. Francis. Very good offense. Again, I think this comes back to coaching. You heard Coach Brooks talk about before the game, their offense was robotic. They weren't looking to score. They were going through the motions. When you see 7 assists on 8 buckets, you're running some very good offense. You're setting good screens. You're finding the open player for an open look, and that's exactly what they're doing, and they're knocking them down. So offensively, pretty perfect first quarter offensively for St. Francis. They're just going to have to stop turning the ball over. They turned it over 5 times, but keep rebounding. You are out rebounding Robert Morris 11-8.
Paige Gieske, Ivana Markovic, Andriana Acosta, Maddie Kennedy, Nicole Davidson, the 5 on the floor for St. Francis as we start the second quarter. Acosta bounces to Kennedy. Beautiful backdoor cut for the layup.
It doesn't get any more perfect than that. That was beautiful to watch. That's some great offensive basketball. A beautiful back cut. You saw the Robert Morris defenders were cheating up a little bit on the play, and they made them pay by the backdoor cut.
First 2 points of the game for Kennedy, and on the other end, we've got a potential 3-point play for Robert Morris and Kiana Campbell.
Just a great play by Campbell, a local kid out of Lockport, played down the road at JJC. He's just a 5'6" junior, but is their number 1 assister, 66 assists for her, which is leading the team, but to the free throw line for a 3-point play. That looks pretty good. That was pretty good defense as well by St. Francis, just a better offensive play.
Free throw is good for Campbell. It's 19-15. It's as close as the Eagles have been in a while.
Robert Morris going to keep the tempo up here defensively. Yeah.
Markovic tracks it down, nearly thrown away, and now it is thrown away. Kennedy is intercepted by Makoviak. Jennifer Makoviak nearly lost control of her foot, and now she gives the ball away. Davidson has the steal.
4-on-2 here.
Here comes Markovic. She slows it down.
It's an opportunity.
Kennedy tries to track that ball down. She lets it go out of bounds. Last touch by Kiana Campbell.
They're having a little bit of a tough time here with that Eagle press right now. The Eagles defense getting their hands on the ball quite a bit. See if Elward can help out the situation here.
It's already 6 turnovers for the Fighting Saints in this game, and that has been their bugaboo today, despite the fact they've led since the first possession of the ball game.
See, at least half of them have come against this press. If they can get to the half-court offense, things have been pretty good.
Jordan Pyle, Caitlin Elward back in. Acosta with 5 to shoot.
No spacing.
Fires it outside to Kennedy and just barely got it off, and Acosta gets the rebound.
Reset. Everyone's standing around. No one's moving. They haven't set up the offense here. Finally get into it.
14 seconds gone before finally they start to get going. Jordan Pyle, corner 3 ball. Got it.
And if they're going to quadruple team Allward in the post like they just did there, there's going to be someone wide open. A little extra pass into the corner for a 3-pointer. Nicely done.
So laid back up to 7 for the Fighting Saints.
What do you think the defensive responsibilities are here for Robert Morris? Allward gets the ball. Everyone goes to her.
the Fighting Saints have shot, as you said, a pretty good percentage this year, but not a lot of outside threats on the floor right now as Brefford misses on the three. Pyle comes down with the rebound.
Take care of the basketball. No hurry here. Run your stuff. Good curl. Ooh, had her.
Pyle's pass deflected and out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints, 9 to shoot.
Got a pump fake. You can't just lob a ball in like that into the post. You got a fake high, bounce pass low.
Kennedy will be the inbounder from the baseline here as the Saints try to set something up relatively quickly. Kennedy can't find anybody. She throws it away, looking for Alward, but some miscommunication. It's going to be Robert Morris basketball.
You hear Coach Brooks during that out of bounds play saying, execute, execute. They were just standing around. I think they're starting to get back into those old habits that they've been getting into the last couple of weeks, just running the plays just to run them and not to score. Coach Brooks ain't going to allow that, though.
Makoviak drives, blocked by Elward, and she comes away with the loose ball. She nearly lost it herself. Pressure defense from Paige Wogan. The Saints get it across.
Perfect.
Alward double team, kicks it out to Kennedy.
Good help defense that time by Robert Morris. She had great position.
There's a reach-in foul on Kiana Campbell, knocking the ball out of the hands of Ivana Markovic.
Alward had her heels on the circle down there, which is perfect post position, but to Robert Morris's credit, help defense came over as the ball was in the air and able to get it out. I think at this point, you know where the help defense is coming from if you're Alward. If you get the ball in the post, you probably know where the help is going to go. And if you know that, that's where the pass has got to go. So you turn, you skip it into the corner, and there should be an open shooter outside somewhere if you get that double team.
Here's the freshman guard, Kaylin C.S. Cheney, getting her first action and losing the ball. Now we got a held ball call. Going the other way.
Man, I don't know. I think that's got to be out of bounds, doesn't it? I don't think the referee knew exactly what happened. He was like, we're just going to call it a jump ball.
Well, it wasn't
a held ball. They didn't both possess the ball, but
Makoviak loses it out of bounds. Last touch by the Saints. 19 on the shot clock. Robert Morris basketball. Here's Makoviak on the inbounds play. Lobbed in to the middle of nowhere, but Wogan was able to track it down. Here's Glover for three. She got it. First made three-pointer of the game for Robert Morris, I believe. They had been 0 of 7. C.S. Cheney on the drive, floats it up there and in over the outstretched arm of Glover. First points for Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Here's Shamara Glover driving and kicking it out to Wogan. Makoviak throws it away, but the pass deflected out to Rainey. Rainey puts it up off the glass and misses. Rebound goes to Markovic. Saints dodge a bullet there. The Eagles dodged a bullet as well. Everybody came out unscathed. Here's Jordan Pyle on the layup. No. Offensive rebound Acosta. We talked about limiting Robert Morris's second chances in today's game, but it's been St. Francis really doing a good job on the offensive glass.
Yeah, 5 offensive rebounds. They're out rebounding Robert Morris 15-8, almost doubling them up on the glass right now. That's effort. Rebounding, steals, that's all effort.
Alward, three-point look from the top of the key. It's an air ball and out of bounds. Davidson back in for the Fighting Saints. Kiana Campbell checks in for Robert Morris. 24-18, St. Francis leads. Just over 5 minutes to play in the first half.
It's not that she doesn't shoot the three. She shoots it okay, 33%. That's her 64th three-point attempt of the season. So an uncharacteristic air ball from the top of the key that time. Sometimes you just missed her.
Campbell throws it away. She just missed that pass. Looking for Jennifer Makoviak. And it's a Robert Morris turnover. Here's Kaylin C.S. Cheney walking across the timeline. Acosta up top to C.S. Cheney. Left elbow, Elward.
Nice cut.
Acosta up with the left hand, no. And it's rebounded by Makoviak. Paige Wogan inside, down into the corner. Long two-point jumper is good from Anika Johnson.
Within 4 now.
Robert Morris has done a nice job hanging around after early game spurt from St. Francis. C.S. Cheney into Alward. She banks it home.
Defender got caught going for the ball, and it's dangerous. If you're going to go for a steal like that, you better make sure that you get it, because if you don't, there's going to be an easy layup.
Under 4 minutes to play, first half. Makoviak to a cutting Wogan. Wogan blocked by Markovic. Big time defensive play by Ivana Markovic.
3 on 2. Nice pass.
Howard bounces it low to Davidson, and Davidson finishes it off. 12 points for Nicole Davidson now, her first 2 of the second quarter.
Pretty loud gym here for a class out of session game.
And Markovic comes away with a steal. Lobbed ahead for C.S. Cheney all alone. Well, not quite that high, but she's able to lay it in. A quick 6-0 run for St. Francis after their lead had been cut down to 4, back to double digits.
And as they go off the court, you saw Ivana Markovic pulling on her jersey. I think she needs a break. She is busting her tail out there right now, as is everybody for St. Francis. It's hard to even imagine that what Coach Brooks was saying before the game was true. If this is the same team that played the last 3, it's hard to believe right now, because they're playing some pretty good basketball, especially defensively, which they have been, but the offense has been there. The secondary offense in transition, they're finding the right people, making the correct passes for the most part. Probably a little bit too few turnovers than you'd like, but that's I think a credit to Robert Morris's trap and defense. Other than that, you're playing a pretty perfect game right now for St. Francis.
They opened up with a big lead. In fact, they've not trailed at any point in this game. Robert Morris came on strong once they put on that full court press, causing a little bit of trouble for St. Francis, but the Fighting Saints have stepped up their own defensive pressure.
Yeah, they have. They're getting their hand on the ball a lot, and steals are a good number to have. Obviously, you commit those turnovers, but even a number to watch, it doesn't show up on a stat sheet, but tip balls. If you can tip balls, even if you don't get steals, that disrupts the offense for the other team. It allows you to set up your defense once again if they do start to get some penetration. So they have quite a few steals, St. Francis does, but even more tipped balls, which is just a sign that the defense is playing very well.
2 teams back on the floor coming out of the timeout. Martha Benuelos is into the game for Robert Morris. First time we've seen her. Leah Sims back out there for the Fighting Saints. Kiana Campbell passes off to the right side. Brefford's been quiet so far today, trying to change that, but she misses on the jumper. And Acosta rebounds.
Got a rebound. Great job. They are just owning Robert Morris on the glass right now. There's no 2 ways about it.
C.S. Cheney lobs it down low for Alward. Pass out to Acosta. Jump shot misses short. Rebound Davidson.
Great position.
Acosta.
It's probably an offensive foul right there. The old-fashioned hook move. Use the off arm, get the elbow around the waist, and spin that way. And so you can see the Robert Morris players pleading to the referees.
Didn't get the call, but didn't get the basket either. It's Robert Morris ball.
You put that move on until they call it.
This is Glover on the right wing. Glover bouncing it for Brefford. She was fouled on the cut by Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Not a lot of fouls in this first half. That's just the second on St. Francis in the quarter.
You've held Robert Morris to just 4 second chance points and 4 fast break points through the game. That just tells you how good the defense has been.
Alward trying for the steal. Ball is loose, and Caitlin Alward picks it up. Saints get another possession here, under 2.5 minutes to play in the half. C.S. Cheney up top. flicks it down low for Alward, and she's fouled.
Give you a foul every time. You get it down low to Alward, especially if Brefford is on her. There's no way she's going to guard her down there, and if she tries, it's usually going to be a foul. And it gets their best scorer in foul trouble. I don't imagine Brefford's going to guard Alward very often, though. It looked like it came on a switch.
First free throws of the game for St. Francis, and Alward misses on the first one. I mentioned there have not been a lot of fouls in this game. St. Francis has only committed 2. That's just the 5th of the game for Robert Morris, 3rd of the quarter.
Yeah, pretty clean game as far as that's concerned.
First foul on Brefford. Alward makes 1 of 2.
St. Francis, one of the better free throw shooting teams in the conference as well.
The run is 7-0 for the Saints.
74% from the charity stripe. Oh, I threw it right at her.
That's one of the easier steals Alward will get in her college career.
Knock it in.
Corner 3 ball, misses off the top of the backboard and rebounded by Robert Morris. That was Shadrian McDaniel, who just checked into the game for the first time, missing on the long shot. Glover off the glass, can't get the roll. Been a while since Robert Morris has scored. St. Francis trying to build a big lead going into the half. Alward fires down low to McDaniel. Extra pass to Davidson, no good.
That was probably where I think she was surprised how wide open she was, and then missed the shot. Got called for the foul. That happens a lot too, trying to make up for the missed layup. But credit the passing on the play. Nice look down low and the extra pass from Shea. I mean, 9 out of 10, that goes in the bucket. Good offensive possession, even though he didn't come up with the points.
Paige Wogan back in for Robert Morris. Minute 15 to play in the half. This is Glover losing the handle, and it's tracked down by Rainey.
Great defense. Great defense.
Brefford for Rainey. Shot clock down to 11, and there's a double dribble.
Leah Sims is playing some fantastic on-ball defense. You saw when the ball handler picked up the dribble, Sims was straddling the leg of the player, getting it literally as close as you possibly can without the foul. That is fantastic defense by the point guard for St. Francis.
Final minute of play in the first half. Saints have the double-digit lead.
Zone look again by the Eagles.
Sims open 3, no.
Get on the ground.
This is going to stay with St. Francis after the battle for the rebound.
Would love that shot to go down for Sims, battling so hard defensively. You'd love to see her come down and score some points as well. Her value so far today has been guarding the basketball.
McDaniel, the inbounder.
Good cut. Ooh, had her.
Instead, she goes to the corner for Alward.
No hurry here. Attack the gaps of the zone with a dribble or the cut. Or the skip pass.
Fires it to Alward. No good on the 3. Robert Morris can take the last shot here, and there's a foul.
Hit the deck pretty hard there. Well, he's got tripped up. And dirty there. Foul.
First foul on McDaniel. 3rd on the team. 4th on the team, rather. So the next one would send Robert Morris to the free throw line, but right here they'll get the final 20 seconds to get off one shot if they like. Brefford into the corner for Glover. 3 ball. Glover got it. Big 3 for Glover going into the half. 5 seconds left. Here's Leah Sims at half court. Gets by the defender. Fires it up and hits.
There she is.
Leah Sims hits the 3 at the buzzer. Huge shot for Leah Sims. Robert Morris, who had been reeling offensively, finally hit a big 3. Looked like they had cut it to single digits going into the break, and Sims had other ideas. 34-23. St. Francis will carry an 11-point lead into the break, and a nice first half, Nick, for St. Francis.
Fantastic defensive effort so far. They wanted to come out with energy. The first game of 2019, you heard Coach Brooks talk about it. You want to start off well with the effort, and it has been there on both sides of the ball, and that's why they're they're winning right now by 11.
Nice first half for the Saints. We'll see if they can duplicate that in the second 20-minute segment of this game. We'll take a break here, but back in about 15 minutes for the start of the second half. So stick around. It's St. Francis basketball, 11-point lead on Robert Morris here on the USF Sports Network. Back in Joliet inside the Sullivan Center with Nick Jacobs, Terry Bonadonna with you here. St. Francis takes on Robert Morris in a CCAC basketball matchup, and first half went about as well as could be expected, Nick.
Yeah, the effort has been there. You wanted to come out of the last couple of games where they only went 1-3, but they played some pretty good competition. But according to Coach Brooks, the effort, the attitude wasn't there. It's here today in the Sullivan Center. They play with a lot of effort today, and it showed defensively, especially the rebounding numbers. That's where you can really tell if you're playing with effort, and they've out-rebounded Robert Morris 21-14. St. Francis has almost as many offensive rebounds as Robert Morris does defensive. 8 offensive rebounds for St. Francis, 10 defensive rebounds for Robert Morris. That tells you that they're playing with a lot of energy here today. The offense has been working very well. 15 for 33 from the floor, just shy of 50%. They're taking care of the basketball. Just 3 turnovers in the second quarter after giving it up 5 times in the first. So they've started to take care of the ball as the game went on. A lot really to like about so far, and a lot to like as far as the energy is. St. Francis.
34-23 our score. St. Francis has the lead. You talked about the rebounds, and that's really flipping the script, because we talked about that at the beginning. That's probably Robert Morris's biggest strength is the offensive rebounding. St. Francis has kind of owned them in that category today. And the other way we've seen the script kind of flipped, especially in the second quarter, is St. Francis starting to really cut down on their turnovers, something that's plagued them a little bit this year.
They did, yeah. Just 3 turnovers there in the second quarter. They are limiting second chance points as well. We thought that might be an issue coming into the game here, is how many second chance opportunities can the Eagles have, but they've really limited that. Just 4 second chance points for Robert Morris. So things are looking pretty good defensively. They're taking care of the basketball better as the game went on. They're scoring the basketball when they have the opportunity. So a lot going right for St. Francis, but it's a 2-half game, so they got to keep it going. This is when it's going to get tough.
Nicole Davidson leads all scorers in the first half with 12 points, 7 from Caitlin Elward, who's also been huge on the defensive end. 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, 3 steals for Elward today. Andriana Acosta leads the way with 5 rebounds. For Robert Morris, Shamara Glover has 8 points to pace the Eagles. 3 rebounds for Jennifer Makoviak is their team leader. We're ready to start the second half. 5 starters on the floor for the Fighting Saints. Markovic, Elward, Pyle, Sims, and did I mention Elward? I'm trying to remember which of the 5 I didn't mention. It's the 5 starters who are on the floor.
Yeah, they can look at it.
Robert Morris has the basketball, and the first shot misses from Anika Johnson. Here comes St. Francis. They have led the entire way, scored on their first possession, and have never trailed.
I want to see how they run their offense here in the beginning part of this third quarter. Are they going to be robotic like Coach Brooks was not happy about the last few games? Or are they going to run it with purpose? So far, it's not looking very good.
Jordan Pyle kicks it out to Markovic with 6 on the shot clock. Markovic for 3. Got it.
Got bailed out right there by Ivana Markovic. Defender lost track of her there in the corner. She was able to knock down an open jumper, although you got to run the offense a bit better than that.
Biggest lead of the game for St. Francis as they've scored 6 straight points. 3 to end the first half on a great shot from Mia Sims, and 3 to start the second half as Elward just misses on the attempted steal. There's a block out of bounds. Fighting Saints had their lead cut down to 4. It was 24-20. And since then, a 13-3 run for the Saints.
Nice block by Jordan Pyle, freshman from Trafalgar, Australia.
That's a good effort.
Just outside of Melbourne.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Anika Johnson spins into the lane and draws the foul before the shot.
Little shove there on the spin move. Got a chance to meet Jordan Pyle's dad. Came down and said hi. It was very nice. So got a fan section out there down under.
Jordan Pyle came to Illinois last year, played at Eastern Illinois, or sat out the year at Eastern Illinois actually, as the 3-pointer misses from Johnson. Somehow gets her own rebound, kicks it out to Brefford, who took a big step back before firing the 3. That's a travel.
Yeah, you got to dribble.
Jordan Pyle now a freshman at St. Francis. Redshirt freshman in her first season with the Fighting Saints.
I thought I did pretty good with that.
It sounded good to me.
You have to say it with the accent, and I don't want to insult him by trying to fake an accent. So that's as good as the American accent what that name's going to get.
Pyle is fouled going to the basket, so she's going to the free throw line for 2.
Speak of the devil.
Australia has been good at providing basketball players to the Fighting Saints over the years. Coming up after this one, the men's game between St. Francis and Robert Morris, and Fighting Saints men's team has a couple of starters from down under. Pyle makes the first free throw. 38-23 St. Francis. Paige Wogan checks in for Nia Harris for Robert Morris. Pyle hits them both, just her 16th and 17th free throw attempts of the year. She's got 5 points in the game now to go along with her 4 rebounds.
You know, before we get too long here in the third quarter, I want to give a shout out to Adriana Costa, who came off the bench, and
3 is in and out. Offensive rebound. Johnson back up and in.
it's a good hard work down there offensively for Robert Morris. But Adriana Costa, like I was mentioning, 5 rebounds in the first half, 3 on the offensive side, no points, but came off the bench and doing a lot of work on the glass. So she had a pretty good first half off the bench.
Saints get the ball down the floor, beat the press, and now they slow it down. Back into the half-court offense. This is Alward backing down, and Alward had her arm grabbed.
Very aggressive defense by Robert Morris there, switching and showing on the screens and really going for the steal every opportunity. Look for another back cut or a fake pass on one of those backdoor cuts. That's going to, I think, open up.
Foul on Glover was her second. It's already the team second. We've seen 3 overall fouls so far in this second half after we saw a grand total of 8 of them in the first half.
There it is. Here's your backdoor sideline, Ivana Markovic.
Markovic, typically the outside shooting presence for St. Francis, getting it done from right underneath there.
Ooh.
8 points for Ivana.
You stand there and take the charge.
They call it a tie-up, so we're going to go down the other way. St. Francis basketball on the good defensive effort from Elwood.
Not much mystery to Anika Johnson's postgame. She's going to get the ball, put her shoulder down, and make a power move. If you just stand there and take a charge, you're going to get that call.
Pyle throws it away. Brefford gets the interception. So the Saints turn it over. Here's Kiana Campbell working against Leah Sims, and Sims is called for the foul.
Whoa. Quite see that one.
First foul on Sims, second on the team. Maddie Kennedy comes in for Jordan Pyle. Fresh 30 seconds on the shot clock for Robert Morris as they get it into Kiana Campbell. Campbell drives, gets into the lane, and misses, gets her own rebound though. Out to Johnson, long deuce, misses, rebounded Kennedy. Here's Ivana Markovic. Saints slow it down on offense. Nicole Davidson up top, passes to the right, Markovic. Shot clock down to 11.
No movement offensively again.
And the Saints are bailed out with a foul. Anika Johnson reaching over the back of Caitlin Elward. Second foul on Johnson, team's third. And Deanna Rainey comes back in for Anika Johnson.
Well, speed for the size. They're going to focus on the perimeter a little bit more.
Bounced into Nicole Davidson. Quiet offensively since the first quarter. Trying to get going again. Rims out. Offensive rebound. Elward's going to the line for 2.
Great offensive rebound. You love the Twin Towers down there, huh? Allward and Davidson. They complement each other very nicely down in the post.
Both of them playing well today. 2 of them have combined for just about half of St. Francis's points. First free throw rattles home for Elward. She's got 8 in the game.
Well, so much for the speed for size as they bring in Lindsay Masnari again, the senior out of Michigan.
3 Rivers, Michigan. I don't know what those 3 rivers would be in Michigan.
You're claiming to be some sort of Michigan River expert?
Well,
You're surprised you don't know all the rivers?
I've been there. They're not big rivers anyway. I didn't know there was a 3 rivers in Michigan. This is Rainey. Wogan dribbles to the left, fires a three. It's perfect.
They're going to knock down those kind of shots, and not much you can do. Pretty good defense by St. Francis. Tough shot, and they're going to come out of the make with some pressure. There it is. Got to be careful.
Pass deflected, taken away, and Sims is called for the foul.
Probably a good foul. It would have been a 2-on-1 going the other way. Probably would have ended up in a layup. So Leah Sims stopped the play, but you got to utilize the ball fake with the pressure. You know they're going for the ball, so you fake high, go low, or the other way around, but you can't just lob a ball, try to get over somebody's head like that.
Here's Rainey. Driving to the left. Rainey gets to the basket and lays it in. Nice drive. And another interception. The press comes up big for Robert Morris as Wogan lays it in, and that's enough for Steve Brooks as he calls time following the back-to-back turnovers, a 30-second timeout.
So lead back to 11. What was it, about 15 or so at one point?
He got up as high as 17 was the biggest.
17 points. You know, Coach Brooks doesn't hide his emotions very well. It's not too difficult to understand exactly what he's going to do. He's going to try to redraw that press break a little bit, but it's not much about the scheme as it is about execute. You got to execute well. You can't just throw a soft lob pass and try to get over somebody's head. They're jumping for the ball every chance they get, but going for the steal. So, I mean, it's basic stuff. It's ball fakes. It's if you're off the ball, running to the open spot, helping out your ball handler. So the timeout was much more about stopping the Robert Morris momentum than it was about drawing anything up. You just got to be smarter trying to break the pressure.
5:35 to play, third quarter for St. Francis, but 4 quick points for Robert Morris. After the last couple of steals.
Ball fake, thank you.
And they're not able to get it across half court again as Piles' pass is deflected by Wogan, scooped up by Breffert.
3 turnovers in a row on that press.
Breffert turned away by Markovic. Here come the Saints. Maddie Kennedy, 2-on-2. Slows it down, passes off to Markovic. Down low, Pyle, nice fake. Pyle is able to score. Well, that's one way to avoid the press. Get a turnover yourself.
Yep.
Howard stands in and takes the charge.
Beautifully done. Saw it coming a mile away. The pump fake going baseline.
Galen C.S. Cheney comes in for Jordan Pyle.
Coach Brule not too happy with it, but it looked pretty easy call.
Let's see what the Saints do against the press this time. Leah Sims splits the double team. Markovic slows it down.
Good call. Take it easy here. You got the lead. You don't want to. The high pace is benefiting Robert Morris here.
Galen C.S. Cheney called for the travel.
You can't turn it over either.
A little bit frazzled there with Wogan on the defense. Dragged her feet. That's 4 turnovers for St. Francis on their last 5 possessions. Wogan for 3.
Long
Just
rebound.
off, and it's rebounded by Mesnari. Another chance for Robert Morris.
Davidson had position and just a long rebound one to the perimeter.
Rainey to the left side and Wogan. And Wogan falls to the ground. Just an odd play, lost her footing. And she's called for the travel.
They can't go to the ground with a basketball like that. Trappist, that press rather still on, but St. Francis is going to get a sub in.
Paige Gieske checks in for Leah Sims.
Took out their ball handler.
So they'll rely on C.S. Cheney now as she passes off to Kennedy. Down the floor, to Gieske.
Don't be in a hurry here. Make the smart play. There it is. Nice cross-court pass. Oh!
Markovic called for the travel after the pump fake. And it's another St. Francis turnover. Saints have been fortunate. Robert Morris really hasn't taken huge advantage of all their takeaways, but that's now 5 out of the last 6 possessions in which St. Francis has turned the ball over. Here's Makoviak. Shot clock down to 10. Makoviak outside for 3. Misses.
Oh, God.
Battling for that offensive rebound. Brefford pulls it in.
If St. Francis can escape with a double-digit lead after this quarter, you call that a win. But they're not playing their best quarter right now, especially offensively turning it over and rebounding. The two things that got them the lead in the first place.
Brefford drives, scores, and gets a free throw. Big drive from Deisha Brefford. She's been Robert Morris's best offensive player this year, averaging over 16 points per game. That's just her second field goal of the afternoon, but now a chance to make it a 3-point play.
6 turnovers this quarter, 8 in the first half for St. Francis.
Brefford finishes it off. It is a 3-point play. 45-35. Starting to tighten up. Alward gets the long pass, drives, scores, but a travel call.
2 travel calls in a row.
Another Fighting Saints turnover. That will not count towards Caitlin Alward's stat sheet, despite putting it in the basket over Jennifer Makoviak.
They're in too big of a hurry. They're breaking the press at this point. They're getting it across. Now you just got to calm down, run that half-court offense you ran so successfully in the first half. They just got happy feet.
Makoviak drives around. Alward scoops it up. No good. Rebounded by Caitlin Alward. Here comes Kaylin C.S. Cheney. Corner 3. Alward. That's big.
That's a big one. That's a relief 3-pointer after being dry offensively for the last couple possessions. Get a 3-pointer to go down. Hopefully that'll help him relax.
Caitlin Alward's now in double figures with 12 points. Step back 3 for Brefford. That misses. Offensive rebound, Makoviak. Gianna Campbell drives, and she's bumped on the floor. Foul's going to be called on Kaylin C.S. Cheney. And that's her third.
That is your third. Team's fifth.
Robert Morris, 10 offensive rebounds now in the game, and the majority of those coming here in this third quarter. St. Francis got to get a body on him.
Brefford off to the right. Wogan back to Brefford. Thought about the 3, drives instead, nearly lost it, but she's able to get it out to Makoviak. There's a drive and kick. Wogan, jump shot misses.
Good block out.
Rebounded by C.S. Cheney.
Point guard doing exactly what she needed to do to make that rebound. Let's calm down, run the offense, set really good screens. That helps people get open. You screen a person, not an area. But they're in a zone right now, so now you got to attack those gaps.
Gieske hits the 3.
That'll help get them out of that zone, too. 2 3-pointers in a row for the Saints.
First points of the game for the sophomore Paige Gieske. Here's Campbell firing to the right side. Rainey down in the corner now. Wogan. Half the shot clock gone. Drive from Campbell. Campbell tries to squirm between a couple of defenders and gets some contact, and a foul is called. It's a shooting foul called against Maddie Kennedy. So Campbell goes to the line. First foul on Kennedy. First free throws today for Campbell, a 72% shooter on the year. Hits the first. With under a minute to play in the third quarter, the Fighting Saints have extended their halftime lead. It was 11. It's 15 right now.
Doesn't feel like it, right?
I was just going to say, it's kind of amazing considering the way that most of this quarter has played out, but they've hit some outside shots. That's been big.
Yep.
Campbell makes them both. Here's Alward passing across to Gieske, and she loses it out of bounds.
I mean, how many times are we going to see him turn it over on the press? I mean, it is shocking, like you mentioned, that it's still over an 11-point lead right now, like you did at halftime.
See if Robert Morris works quickly here. 23 seconds between shot and game clock. It's a travel called on Makoviak. So 3 seconds now differentiate the shot and game clock. St. Francis can't quite prevent Robert Morris from getting another possession here, but they can run the clock down pretty far. Nearly intercepted, but Kennedy comes in and receives the pass. Here's Gieske on a drive, kick into the corner. Alward elects not to shoot, passes out of the double team to C.S. Cheney. Here's Markovic, off to C.S. Cheney.
Robert Morris sticking with that zone.
Deep three, Markovic. Too strong, offensive rebound, C.S. Cheney. Clock down to 3 seconds. C.S. Cheney running into the lane is fouled. With .9 on the clock, Kalen C.S. Cheney will get a pair of free throws.
Foul called on number 24, Nia.
Foul goes on Nia Harris.
I'm very anxious to see the third quarter numbers because, like, clearly the worst quarter of the game so far for St. Francis. Turned the ball over quite a bit, allowing a few offensive rebounds for Robert Morris, yet the lead's still 15.
First free throw good from C.S. Cheney. She makes 1 of 2, and Robert Morris does not have enough time to get a shot off before the buzzer. So the third quarter comes to an end, 52-37. St. Francis has a fairly comfortable lead right now, and for as much as you like the score right now, Nick, the game just doesn't seem to have the same flow it did in the first half for the Fighting Saints.
But I guess you can't complain, right? I mean, whatever you're doing right. Offensively, they're turning it over, but I think defensively, they've continued locking it down against Robert Morris, and that's where the bread's been buttered so far for St. Francis, #1 defense in the conference. So they're playing some solid defense, which can hide a lot of errors on the offensive side as long as you can stop them on the other end. So got to keep up that solid defensive play, and the offense hopefully will come back around like it was in the first couple quarters.
Another kind of odd quirk from the third quarter is that it was actually Robert Morris's highest scoring quarter as they put up 14, but St. Francis still was able to force some turnovers and get some points on the other end as a result.
Take a quick look at the stats. So 15 turnovers for Robert Morris after 3 periods. So 6 turnovers in the quarter for Robert Morris. Yeah, it's almost hard to kind of put things together by what we see on the paper. Robert Morris has scored the most points in this quarter than they did in the first 2. St. Francis, I think, like you mentioned, a couple 3-pointers for St. Francis really pushed the lead for him.
14 combined turnovers were committed in that third quarter. So it was kind of an ugly 10 minutes of basketball just in terms of the flow as things went on. But all in all, St. Francis, they were able to take the ball away as much as they gave it up, or close to it anyway. And they were able to get some points on the other end as a result.
So 7 offensive rebounds in that quarter alone for Robert Morris. They have 11 now, but still only able to convert that into 9 second chance points. So Robert Morris has had the opportunities. I think that's the story of the game. Robert Morris having the opportunities but not being able to convert on the extra possessions they've been able to have.
Robert Morris basketball as we come out of the break. They've got to go on a run in a hurry here. Down big with just under 10 minutes to play. Here's Brefford. And now Campbell. There's a shot clock malfunction here as Robert Morris has taken over 30 seconds on this possession.
Really?
Ivana Markovic takes the ball away on the steal. Here she comes, trying to give it up to Kalen C.S. Cheney at the last second, but it's taken away.
Too unselfish. Take it to the rim.
Here comes Brefford for 3, and it's good. So in transition, Robert Morris is able to knock down a big 3-point shot, a 12-point game. And Brefford comes away with a steal. Lob down the floor for Rainey. Rainey's layup won't go, but it's a foul on Kennedy.
About to be 5 points in a matter of seconds here.
An odd start to the fourth quarter. Robert Morris, and it's easy to do the math at the start of a quarter because you have until 9 minutes 30 seconds. They held the ball till about 9:26. So there was a shot clock problem at some point. Didn't end up getting a shot off. Rainey misses on the first free throw. The Saints were able to take the ball away, but they turned it right back over, and now Robert Morris has a chance to score at least the first 4 points of the quarter. Big second free throw goes down for Rainey. 11-point lead for the Fighting Saints. Leah Sims trapped in the corner, is able to bounce it out. Howard back to Sims.
Robert Morris not slowing down with the trap. You can't be in the corner like that and pick up your dribble. Got bailed out.
Held ball called as Gieske did dribble once, and she was left out in the cold at that point.
If you have the basketball against the trap, you have to be smart with your dribble. You can't take one dribble and go into the corner and stop. You're just asking for a turnover. They're going to get you every single time.
Here's Markovic. 4 on the shot clock. I don't think she sees it. Sims has to hoist one up at the buzzer. Just grazes the front of the rim. Here comes Makoviak. Makoviak kicks it out left side. Glover, three-pointer misses, and Sims grabs the board.
Like Sims as a point guard, very confident with the basketball.
Jordan Piles got an open look. Her three ball misses. Alward, offensive rebound. Saints reset.
Over 2 Eagles. That's a nice rebound.
Saints slow it down here.
Robert Morris not too keen on coming out and trapping.
And it's thrown away. Pyle trying to go across court to Markovic, but straight out of bounds.
Can't shoot yourself in the foot, though.
Davidson comes in for Pyle.
If they're going to make you, give you those easy passes, go ahead and take them. No sense in trying to launch one to the other side of the floor. Especially against a zone like that. You want to attack those gaps.
Kiana Campbell hands it off to Disha Brefford. Here's Wogan. Back to Brefford. Brefford drives, throws it up, misses, rebounded by Elwood. Saints stay strong on defense, still looking for their first points on the offensive side here in the fourth quarter. More than 2.5 minutes gone by. Knocked out of bounds, last touch by Elwood. Acosta comes on for Gieske. First time we've seen Acosta in the second half. We got a timeout called by Steve Brooks. Full timeout, 7:18 to play, fourth quarter. St. Francis 52, Robert Morris 41.
Defense still bailing the Saints out right now. The offense just can't get any sort of rhythm, turning the ball over, and I hesitate to credit the Robert Morris defense at this point. I think St. Francis shooting themselves in the foot on the turnovers. Most of them are unforced. Saw Allward down there in the short corner, just trying to force a pass to getting tipped, and then the stands. It's not because they're pressuring you too much. It's just because you're not making the smart pass, and you got to be careful with the basketball right now when you're trying to protect a lead that's coming dangerously close to single digits.
Today is the start of conference play in earnest for St. Francis and for Robert Morris as well. They'll play nothing but conference games the rest of the way, but they've been in and out of conference play up to this point, and the Saints are right in there near the top. They're tied with Holy Cross right now for second place in the CCAC with a 6-1 record. Holy Cross did beat St. Francis once earlier this year. They'll get another chance at it in early February. It's a big game for Robert Morris. They're 4-3 in conference right now and trying to stay in the top half of the conference standings going into the new year. And they're putting up a fight here in the fourth quarter after it looked for a while like St. Francis was going to have this one in a runaway.
20 turnovers for St. Francis right now. You got to keep it under 20 for a game. If you have 20 in an entire game, you haven't taken care of the basketball enough. And right now, St. Francis sits at 20. 13 of those have been Robert Morris steals.
Here's Kiana Campbell on the drive, coming out of the timeout, misses the layup.
That looks like it'd be a foul to me.
Davidson able to shake off the defender and throw it off to Ivana Markovic. Here's Alward up to Sims. Shot clock runs down under 10 seconds. Acosta to Sims. Need to get something going quickly now. 4 seconds to shoot. Acosta's three-pointer is short. Rebounded by Markovic. And she throws it away.
I think at that point, you got the lead. You get the offensive rebound, circle it back out, reset the offense, and try to run something.
Rainey on the runner, banks it home.
Single digits.
St. Francis got nothing going offensively last time around. Acosta's three-pointer was her first attempt of the year as we've got a whistle.
Timeout.
So timeout called, 6:17 to play in the game, 24 seconds to play, or I should say 24 seconds on the shot clock for St. Francis when they come back out of the timeout. And Coach Brooks obviously not happy with the way things are going. And as I was just saying, Acosta ended up taking her first three-pointer of the year on that last possession with the shot clock running down. So that was obviously not the shot they wanted. And then it looked like they were going to get a second chance with Markovic coming down with the offensive rebound, and she quickly threw it away. So they're just out of sync at the moment.
Yeah, there have been a few instances of that as well when they get tough on the boards. They get that offensive rebound and trying to make a play after the second chance, they end up turning it over. When you're protecting a lead, you're getting late in the game, the clock is your friend. So I understand what Ivana was trying to do. She had the basketball underneath the rim, and she saw, I believe it was Davidson or Allward she was trying to get the ball to, saw her open for just a split second. But I think the more prudent move, get that offensive rebound, circle it back out, waste another 30 seconds, try to get a good shot out of that. So it's turnovers right now killing St. Francis and letting Robert Morris back into it. But you do have to credit the Eagles right now because they've been in the trap for, if it hasn't been the entire second half, it's been a majority of it. And they've really done a great job forcing St. Francis into some of these turnovers.
St. Francis ball, but they're still in the backcourt coming out of the timeout here. So Robert Morris will keep that pressure on. The Saints return to the floor. Still have not scored in the fourth quarter. Nearly 4 minutes into it now. We'll see if they can break that streak on this possession.
There's even some confusion on who's going to inbound the basketball. That's where St. Francis is at offensively right now.
And that's a 10-second violation. They only had 4 seconds coming out of the timeout. So very sloppy play there. Like you said, Nick, they didn't know who was going to be inbounding the ball coming out of the timeout.
I think that's an assistant coach's responsibility there to make sure that the players know, hey, make sure you know you got 4 seconds to get across that half-court stripe. Just weren't aware.
So another St. Francis turnover. Robert Morris trying to cut deeper into this deficit. It was as high as 17. Nice cut from Glover. She cannot convert off the pass from Rainey. And on the rebound from Davidson, a foul called against the Eagles.
That was tough. I don't know if I would call a foul on that. It was Davidson who kind of jumped into her, but the Saints will take that right now. It's a chance to set up the press break here.
And that's a critical 4th foul on Shamara Glover.
Actually a chance for Robert Morris to set up the press.
Nice fake Acosta, and she jump passes across half court. And now Sims against a trap is fouled.
Out again. That looked like pretty good defense by Robert Morris again. I don't know if I would have called that.
Just the second foul of the quarter, but it is Glover's 5th. And she's done. Picked up 2 fouls in the last 30 seconds. So she'll take a seat for the rest of the game as Deisha Brefford comes back on. That's a big loss. Shamara Glover is an 11.5 point per game scorer. Was not a huge factor offensively today, but it's a shooter that Al Brule and company could use down the stretch here, trailing by 9.
Another tipped basketball by Robert Morris. Their defense is playing a lot better than St. Francis' offense right now. St. Francis is trying to maintain, trying to hold on here. Timeout called by St. Francis.
They've used up 3 timeouts in the last 2 minutes, so Steve Brooks is not playing around right now. This is going to be a 30-second timeout now, but he is calling his team over with regularity at this point, just trying to find something he can say that's going to turn this thing around. And I shouldn't say turn it around because they're winning by 9 points. But it's been a long time since we've seen St. Francis get anything going offensively.
He's talking to his point guard right now. You just got to take care of the basketball. And Last time she had it, she was out near the volleyball stripe and just put her head down and just started dribbling with no intent. There was no purpose to the dribble. And once you start doing that, the defense is going to suck in on you and try to knock it away. Thankfully, they retained the possession, but that easily could have been a turnover. You just got to be smart with the basketball here in the final 5 and change of the game.
In the second half, St. Francis has scored 18 points. They've turned the ball over 13 times. They're struggling right now, but with 5.5 minutes to play, they've got a 9-point lead.
Got to be able to close out basketball games when you have the lead. Nice pass.
Davidson baseline jumper rims out. Offensive rebound. Acosta resets
Perfect.
it.
Thank you.
Davidson out to Sims. Sims will keep it moving here offensively. Slow pace, and there's a foul as Markovic is hacked by Kiana Campbell with 18 on the shot clock. It's the third foul of the quarter.
And that's going to happen more and more as the defense gets more aggressive as the time ticks away, trying to fight back into this one. So they're going to foul you. Just know that that's coming. Be careful with the basketball. Let them get into the bonus here and start making free throws. A little while to go here before that, though. 5 minutes.
Here's Kaylin Sias-Cheney. Markovic hands it off to Alward, who loses control, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by the Eagles. 18 to shoot for St. Francis.
They're playing timid. They're playing not as aggressively with the energy that they did in the first couple of quarters. I feel like they're playing to not lose this game and not go out and try to win it. And that's dangerous. We've seen already Robert Morris has some scores.
Markovic gets it into Sias-Cheney. More than halfway through the fourth quarter now. Alward drives the baseline, and she's intercepted. Kiana Campbell jumps in to take that pass away. Here comes Campbell on the move. Pulls up, kicks it out to Breffert. They'll slow it down.
St. Francis looks a bit tired defensively, too, here. Nice screen, no help.
Campbell misses on the layup, but she's fouled.
A great screen up top. And that's the responsibility underneath. I believe it was Acosta on the weak side there to slide over. If they do get penetration, she was late and got the foul.
So two free throws for Campbell.
Pardon me, she wasn't the one who picked up the foul, but it led to the foul. Just not getting as low in that defensive position as they were in the first half.
Campbell makes the first free throw. It's 52 to 44. Saints have led by double digits for most of the second half. In fact, this is the first time at 52 to 43, the first time that Robert Morris had been within single digits since halftime. Second free throw misses. Free throws are huge down the stretch for the Eagles. Saints will savor every miss.
Calling on the dogs here. Got to be smart. Oh,
10-second violation. The ball was across half court. At the time the whistle blew, but it had not yet been possessed by a Saint. And that's one you don't see very often, as Sias-Cheney just kind of threw the ball up there to avoid that call. Davidson was able to grab it, but apparently not in time.
Showed 20 on the shot clock.
So a St. Francis turnover leads to a Robert Morris possession. It's Campbell. Campbell picks up her dribble, gets it off to Breffert. Three-point attempt, Makoviak. No good. That would have been a big one for Robert Morris, as it is a big rebound for Acosta, though the Saints nearly lost the ball. Markovic is trapped. Fires it off to Acosta. And now the Saints have a 2-on-1, but it's another 10-second violation.
What is going on right now?
Back-to-back 10-second calls against the Fighting Saints. And both of them were very close calls. Acosta was able to dribble it across the timeline there, but apparently not in time, as timeout called by Robert Morris.
Which is interesting. They had all the momentum in the world right now.
So El Brule wants to draw something up for his offense now, trailing by 8 with just under 4 minutes to go. What a crazy sequence, man.
It just feel like a lot quicker than 10 seconds. And I understand the shot clock showed 20. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, it's almost unexplainable what's going on. Just a completely different team St. Francis is right now than what we saw in the first half. Playing with the energy, and they're playing smart, playing with purpose, with urgency, but now they're playing timid, like they just don't want to lose this game. And in doing that are committing mistakes. And Robert Morris, I think, probably is a little upset with themselves. I think they probably could be a lot closer of not winning this game if they were converting on their opportunities that they've had. But if you're Robert Morris, you're pretty happy right now because you have, about 4 minutes and some change right now to go, and a lot of time. If they keep that defensive pressure up on St. Francis, and St. Francis can't find a way to contain what's going on right now, Robert Morris is in a pretty good spot.
Not a lot of poise down the stretch for the St. Francis team, Nick, and it's really a young team. It's a point we haven't made a whole lot of, but they've got Ivana Markovic, Caitlin Alward on the floor, and Nicole Davidson, all of them veteran players. But aside from that, a lot of freshmen and sophomores getting big minutes for the Fighting Saints, and that may be part of what's going on here as well.
I think Ivana's got to be the one to step up and control this team on the floor and set the tone.
Robert Morris basketball, a nice cut and a missed layup.
See, I'll tell you what, Robert Morris should be winning this game right now. It's not a travel. I mean, she didn't even have the basketball. So you got to call a foul on somebody. I wouldn't have minded an offensive foul call on that. A player control foul, but it definitely wasn't a travel. Either way, it's Robert Morris basketball.
So another turnover committed by the Saints. Makoviak, though, has missed open shots on the last 2 Robert Morris possessions. So the Saints have been able to maintain their 8-point lead as Makoviak goes back at it offensively, passing to Wogan. Here's Brefford.
Help. There you go. Great job. Going down. It's going down. Oh, they're calling the foul on the on-ball defender and not giving the benefit to the help side who came over, and it would have been a charge.
Deisha Brefford to the free throw line. 3:15 to play. Just an 8-point game.
Curious to see what Robert Morris' field goal percentage is in this quarter, because it can't be very high.
First free throw is good for Brefford. Brefford's been relatively quiet today. The Saints have done a very nice job on him. Just 9 points. Second shot is good. The lead was as much as 18. Now just a 2-scored lead for St. Francis at 52-46. Get it across half court. Here's Alward. Slowing it down, passing to Maddie Kennedy.
It's Robert Morris making all the noise in the gym right now. It's like a home game.
Shot clock at 8. It's Kennedy up top. Passing to the right side. Carrying C.S. Cheney. 4 seconds to shoot. C.S. Cheney kicks it out to Alward. At the buzzer, her 3-ball misses. And an offensive rebound for Acosta.
That's a huge offensive rebound for Acosta. Absolutely huge offensive rebound. Now get a couple points out of it.
C.S. Cheney backs it up to half court. And throws it away. Makoviak gets the steal. Here comes Jenny Makoviak.
Foul.
Getting inside. Makoviak tries to lay it up, misses. Rebound to Alward. And Alward is fouled. That is just the 3rd team foul on Robert Morris, so they've still got 1 to give.
Robert Morris just 2 for 9 in this quarter. Great job defensively, like we just saw there, but they're not capitalizing.
Nearly came away with another steal, but the Saints do break the press.
One more, there you go.
And there's Acosta. She's fouled going to the basket.
Good hard foul. Make sure she didn't get the layup up, nothing dirty about it. But Acosta, great job filling those open lanes on the fast break. A great touch pass at the end.
It's been 9 minutes, 16 seconds since St. Francis last scored. Acosta can change that here, but misses the first free throw. Just 8 of 14 from the foul stripe this year. Shadrian McDaniel comes back in for the Fighting Saints. And she misses them both. Nick, has a team ever gone scoreless for the entire fourth quarter and still won? It's possible.
It'd be the same team who has the best field goal percentage in the conference, but third worst in scoring offense, which is the Saints as they sit right now.
A team of paradoxes.
Yes.
Here's Brefford kicking it outside. Wogan for three. Got it. That's a three, Paige Wogan.
They're going to call a timeout, set up that trap that's been so effective here. That's not a timeout for rest. That's why it's only going to be a 30-second. They just want to set up the trap.
A minute 42 to play. 52-49. St. Francis leads. They were up by as many as 18 points.
Wow.
They've led this one ever since the very beginning. They scored a basket on their first possession. Since then, they've never been tied, never trailed. So they have led for all but 22 seconds of the game.
You know, you hear it all the time, a tale of two halves. That's exactly what it is. It happens so often. You're good, Ivana. I don't know if she's checking with me or what. Right here in front of the table, but
pass it along.
Yeah, we'll pass it down the table. But it's amazing with how great they played on both sides of the floor in the first couple of quarters. It's almost like they forgot how to run an offense. You do have to credit Robert Morris a bit. They've been pressuring defensively for this entire half. It's really paid off for them. Now, unfortunately for them, they've only gone 3 for 10 in the quarter.
Saints beat the press. Here's C.S. Cheney.
Too much dribbling, too much dribbling.
C.S. Cheney is fouled, and that puts Robert Morris over the limit.
You don't break a trap with a dribble. You break it with moving off the basketball, with ball fakes. But now your chance to win the game is going to come at the free throw line, where they have been pretty good as a team.
C.S. Cheney, 12 of 17 from the line this year. And she makes the first 10 minutes without points. Finally, that streak goes by the wayside.
Keep an eye on the field goals now. You can go an entire quarter without a field goal.
1 out of 2 for C.S. Cheney. It's a 2-score game now. Deisha Brefford hands it off. Kiana Campbell drives. Campbell lays it up, misses. Rebounded by McDaniel.
They are missing so many layups. Hard layups, contested layups, but layups nonetheless. Easy. There you go.
Under a minute to play in the game. Shot clock is at 10. C.S. Cheney to Markovic on the right side. Markovic fakes, drives, kicks it out to Kennedy for 3. She got it. Maddie Kennedy hits the big 3. First field goal of the quarter for St. Francis. And McDaniel jumps in to knock that pass away. Out of bounds. It'll stick with Robert Morris.
Finally broke the ice. There's a cap on the rim this entire quarter, but the first field goal of the quarter for St. Francis with 48 seconds left to go in the game.
Bradford gives it up to Campbell. Robert Morris trailing by 7 now. Has got to work a little bit more quickly. Makoviak for 3. Doesn't get the roll, but an offensive rebound. Back up and in. That's Rainey. It's a 5-point game. 22 seconds to play.
Let them foul you. They got to foul you here. Get it across half court. There you go.
Markovic takes the foul. She'll get 2 free throws.
What a strange game.
That is her second.
Markovic, good foul shooter. 82%. She needs to make them both to make it a 3-possession game, and she does get the first.
See, 82?
82. This would be enormous because with just 17 seconds left, Robert Morris is running out of time to come back from multiple scores down, and it is a 3-score game. 7-point lead for St. Francis, 17 seconds to play, and a timeout called by Robert Morris. 30-second timeout.
I know what they're going to work on in practice this week, Terry. That's breaking the press and handling pressure defensively. The way you do that in practice is you give your defense 6 guys and play against the 5 and pretty much trap everywhere you go. Turn up the volume of the music when they're playing just to make it hard to communicate. But that's really been what's caused St. Francis a lot of trouble, handling the pressure that Robert Morris, to their credit, was able to provide.
Well, the next couple of teams that St. Francis will see are paying attention today. They may see a lot more press going forward.
I think they'll get their hands on the tape.
Indiana South Bend coming up on Wednesday. It's a 4:30 game in South Bend. And the next home game is a week from today. 1 o'clock start time against Judson. Here we go. 17 seconds left. 7-point lead for St. Francis. Robert Morris basketball. Brefford drives, passes to Rainey.
Great D.
Brefford has to fire up a three. No good, and that should just about do it with 5 seconds on the clock. Step back three ball from Campbell misses. Jordan Pyle grabs the rebound, and St. Francis escapes with a 58-51 victory. A very nice looking first half. Second half, not so pretty, but a win's a win.
One field goal in the fourth quarter. 4 points total, and it came with 48 seconds to go. The defense was strong enough. Now Robert Morris, they're going to look back on their tape and realize they could have won this game with all the layups that they couldn't convert on after forcing all those turnovers in the fourth quarter. But hey, when it comes down to conference play, you're getting into that schedule. A win's a win. You'll take that mark on the left-hand side column no matter what. So you come away with a smile after the win, but you still got a lot to work on in practice.
This is the only scheduled matchup of the year between St. Francis and Robert Morris, but they could meet up again in the conference tournament, and as we've seen today, always an interesting matchup when these two teams get together. And we're about to be joined now by the head coach of the Fighting Saints, the victorious head coach of the Fighting Saints, Steve Brooks. And Coach, we talked before the game about the team's energy, and certainly the first half, it seemed like the team was playing with a lot of energy. How did you feel about the way they came out?
Well, the first half was a good half for us. The second half, we turned the ball over like that was our job. So we made it a lot more interesting than maybe we should have.
Do you see that type of pressure, the half-court, three-quarter court trap that Robert Morris was able to provide a lot?
Yeah, we've seen it. We've struggled to take care of the ball in the last 3 games, and I think it's a confidence issue. Part of it's that. Part of it is we don't execute. We struggle in practice. We got to learn to. We make cuts, meet the pass. We told them at halftime. I told them at halftime, it's just going to come back down to how we pressure the ball and keep the ball in front of us defensively, and then taking care of the basketball. We had to take care of the ball, and we didn't value the ball. We didn't value the ball from the middle of the third quarter on.
I think obviously you'll know what you have to work on offensively, but defensively got to be pretty happy with the effort that they showed, especially in that first half. But to only score 1 field goal in the fourth quarter, 4 total points, but still maintain and be able to win that game, the defense had to be there.
Yes, and that's one thing that we stress is trying to be a good defensive team. Give them credit. They didn't quit, and we made it a very interesting game. So
win's a win, though, at this point in the CCAC.
Yeah, it is. So we'll take it, but we've got to get better. We've got to learn from it. So,
Coach Steve Brooks, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
St. Francis defeats Robert Morris today by a final score of 58-51. They improved their record to 11-5 overall. They're now 7-1 in conference. And Nick, you talk to the coach, and it's hard to tell. They're 7-1 in conference. You don't like the way this game went in the end, but the result is there.
That is not a happy man. We did not talk to a very happy man right there, and I think his team is going to know it in this next coming weeks of practice. They're going to be playing. They're going to focus a lot on taking care of the basketball, and it's not how you start the game; it's how you finish. Like, it's the result, and they got the win. I'd rather play ugly and get a W than play a perfect game and get the loss. So you got to be happy with that, but. You can tell that that's a coach right there. That's a coach who's going to look at that tape and know exactly what they need to work on. And I don't know if I'd necessarily want to be in the gym for their practices the next couple of weeks. But hey, like I said, you'd rather have the win and play ugly than a loss and play a perfect game.
Take a look at some of the final numbers in this game. St. Francis shooting percentage for the game fell to 46% after going just 1 of 6 in the fourth quarter. But they outshot Robert Morris, who went just 33% for the game. Offensively, Saints were led by Caitlin Aylward and Nicole Davidson, 12 points apiece. Aylward had the double-double with 10 rebounds. Ivana Markovic, 10 points as well. Robert Morris was led by Deisha Brefford, who had 10 points. Again, final score, St. Francis 58, Robert Morris 51. Nick, let's wrap this one up. Your final thoughts on today.
Defense was there. Got to keep that going up. Keep that going on as far as the conference schedule goes. You know what you got to work on. You got to take care of the basketball. Hopefully that comes with experience. Like you mentioned, it's a young team. So get back in the gym, work on taking care of the basketball, and I think the wins are going to come. You're still the number 12 team in the country at this point. You just got to play up to that.
Robert Morris falls to 8-9 overall, 4-4 in conference. The Saints 7-1 in CCAC play, now 11-5 overall. Next game for the Fighting Saints is Wednesday at Indiana South Bend. Back at it here at the Sullivan Center a week from today, same time, 1 o'clock, as they take on Judson. 58-51 our final score here. The Saints take out the Eagles of Robert Morris. That's going to do it for our broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. For the entire crew here in Joliet, for Nick Jacobs, I'm Terry Bonadonna. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.